Well, hospital porters, pride and dignity, stop the New World Order. Welcome to Panwo TV and welcome to this video. This video is called Loose Ends. Now, that's not because it's about the famous 1980s music trio, the R&B group, which the visuals of this video are themed on that, because when I thought of the title Loose Ends, I thought, what does that mean? Of course, it refers to that group. That's not what it's actually about. So it's false advertising, really, but that's not. The reason I'm calling it Loose Ends is because I'm at a bit of a loose end. I don't know what to make a video about. I've got no idea. I'm kind of like, what do I make a video about? I've got to make a video about something, because it's actually now been 9 days since I last did a video. The last video I made was the Disclosure Day trailer live stream, and I don't like leaving my channel sort of like unattended for too long. I start getting itchy camera fingers, if you know what I mean. And I start thinking to myself, it'll go more if I leave it much longer, it's going to go moribund, and people will stop watching me, that kind of thing. So I think I've got to make a video about something. But I look through my future plan video. I've got a list of future plans for future videos. I got lots of them, but they all involve travel. They're all sort of like, they all involve booking time off work, making arrangements, and travel. And so I can't just do that off the top of my head. I've got to, like I said, make arrangements. I literally have no studio videos at all planned. I thought about starting a new read or watch party, which I have got some ideas for those. But then I thought to myself, that's, again, I was up against time a little bit because I had to do the Panwo show as well, and that was a little bit of a drag, things like that. And I thought, well, okay, I will now, I'll just think about, I'll know what I'll do. I'll just go back over the last couple of videos and other things I've done, and I will just think of something new to say in relation to them and other things that are in the news right now, and maybe cover a little bit of extra issues that I haven't had time to talk about before. I might have mentioned on her Panwo Voice and not done it on her Panwo TV. Okay, so to begin with, we'll begin with a little bit of housekeeping. I've had a copyright. It's not a copyright strike. I've had 3 copyright notices on the last video. That is the Disclosure Day trailer live stream. Believe it or not, and I kind of predicted this might happen. Yeah, I have had 3 copyright notices. I was expecting 2, and I got 3. And the 2 I was expecting, of course, was because of the two trailers that I showed and broke down, analysed in accordance with open and shut case of fair use, of course. But no, the YouTube algorithms doesn't really think in those terms. It's too stupid. So it just saw he's using other people's material. We must put a copyright notice on that. This video cannot be monetized. La di blah di la. Right, okay. So it just said that. So it just thought that without realizing the obvious, which a movie trailer needs, essentially, by its very definition, it needs to be in the public domain, because the whole point of a trailer is you spread it far and wide as much as you can. So if any kind of copyright claim on a trailer is ridiculous. The whole point is that people say, take this, spread it, copy it, give it to everyone, show it to everyone, upload it on your own platforms, so everyone knows the film is coming. I mean, in a little while, I'll talk about exactly what a marketing genius I think Steven Spielberg is. We'll go into that, so obviously they're not going to claim copyright, but YouTube obviously has not got the message. So there you have it. Right, but then it just said, oh, your channel cannot be monetized. This video cannot be monetized on your channel. Obviously, if you use too much copyright, then your whole channel gets demonetized. Thing is, my channel's not monetized anyway. I've never tried to monetize it. Thanks to my shadow banning, it's not worth it. If you look at my viewing figures, all my videos now struggle to hit 1,000. They really do. They're all in like 3 figures maximum. They sort of hover between low or high 3-figure numbers. Of course, I'm getting more views than that, and I'll say a bit more about that in a minute, because it's becoming increasingly obvious. But because of this shadow banning I'm under, and this deliberate suppression of my viewing figures, if I monetize my video, I get maybe £3-4 a week. And it's really not worth it for people. It's not worth it, considering when people come to watch me, and what do they get? They get, darling, hold my hand, or running a business is like running a marathon in the desert through quicksand, and all these other really annoying ads that keep popping up. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So I'm not monetizing my channel. I'm not sure I would anyway, actually, because of that. So now on the subject of and on the third copyright strike is more understandable. It was because I played that little snatch of Angry Astronaut's video, and he uses some background music on it, which was copyrighted. So I got a copyright notice for that. Now these copyright notices are not copyright strikes. They don't actually have any effect on my status. In fact, they say very clearly when they send you these little notices, the copyright owner has given permission for this work to be used in various places. But you just can't monetize it. You can't make money off it yourself. In the old days, they used to literally, your videos would actually have ads, which the revenue would then go to the copyright owner, but that doesn't happen anymore. So there's a little snatch of music in Angry Astronaut's video. Presumably he gets these for every one of his videos, and it doesn't bother him. I mean, he does have ads on there. Maybe he's got some kind of special deal with the producer. I don't know. But the reason I'm going to go into this sort of thing about why I believe I'm shadow banned. Where is it? Here we go. Because those of you who follow me, I don't know how many of you follow me on TikTok. Because I put a lot of short videos on TikTok, and here's my TikTok channel. I can show it to you. Okay, I've got these. I've only got like a handful of videos. I don't put them on that often, but I do put them on very every so often. This is one that I've done recently. I've showed you this before.
Hello, everybody.
Right. It's called Charlie Vitch Comes to Oxford. # Oxford. # comedy. Any resemblance to persons living or dead is, of course, purely coincidental. And I was a bit surprised when I looked at the viewing figures for that. At the moment, they are hovering. This is often what happens, right? This really often happens, right? You get viewing figures, they go up to a certain level, and they kind of stop. Literally, almost my overnight viewing figures were like 250, but since then, it's only gone up like maybe one view a week or something. It's now on 267. And I think that's just very, very weird. I mean, TikTok has one of the worst reputations in social media for this sort of thing. But I made this video, Charlie Vitch Comes to Oxford, which was, like I said, a piece of comedy, short, fits on TikTok. It has to be under 10 minutes long to be on TikTok. And then it turns out that I only had like about 250 views overnight. In fact, it's not risen. In fact, I'm just looking at my notes here. It's actually not risen above 267 since December the 28th. So in almost 2 months, it's not had a single view. So it went up to 250 overnight, and then it's just gone up another 17 since then. I mean, this is ridiculous. And I've noticed this with my posts as well on Blogger, my Hapanmo Voice posts and things like that. They go up to a certain figure, and in terms of Hapanmo Voice, it's usually only about 25 views, and then it just stops. And it goes up maybe one more. I've done a couple of experiments to see if this actually happens, and if this actually, I've done a little experiment to try and demonstrate this. And what I've done is I've deliberately not shared a post on social media, and to see if that would affect it. Because I would expect, though, any post I put on Hapanmo Voice that I don't share on social media, I would expect to have far fewer viewers, far fewer hits. It gets maybe 5 less. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense unless these are false figures. Now, in terms of this TikTok video I was talking about, I was astonished that not only did it only have 267 views, but the click-through rate is ridiculous. Apparently, only 0.4% of visitors actually watch the video all the way through. Just literally 10 people watch it all the way through. That's on a 9-minute, 1-second video. Less than 10% of the viewers came across it in searches, even though I've used the # comedy, one of the best for trending. Almost all the others were simply my followers. And in fact, if you take into account the total play time for the video, it comes to just 34 minutes, 29 seconds, which is barely 4 times the video's duration. So how do you explain that? Especially when you consider that I've had... How many comments have I had? 6 comments. I've had 6 comments on it. This doesn't make sense. How does that fit in with like the reach, the viewing figures, the click-through rate, etc.? What's the explanation for that? Am I just a very bad content creator? I don't think so. I mean, this is really weird because the video has 27 hearts on it. It has 6 comments and 27 hearts. Yet it's had 267 views and only 10 of them watched the video all the way through. I think, like I've said many times before about this sort of thing, I think this is the whoever's behind my shadow banning, hoping that I'll give up. They want me to think, well, Ben, you're wasting your time. No one's watching you, Ben. No one's watching you. That's what they want. Well, listen, it's not going to work because I can see through you. I've rumbled you. It's just so obvious. I mean, I'm putting up blogger articles that are getting more comments than bloody. I'm literally getting more comments than I'm getting like viewing, like hits. That doesn't make sense. It makes no sense at all. So this is another example of that. I mean, my latest upload. Let me just find it. I haven't checked it. Well, it's not an upload. It's a live stream. But I mean, it's the last video I did, which was 9 days ago. As I said, too long, which is why I'm making this video now. And the current figures are 374. In 9 days, I've had 374. That includes the people who watched it live on my I'll show it to you. I might as well show it to you. Here you go. 374 views, Disclosure Day trailer live stream. And look at my other viewing figures here. The James Confession live stream, 548. When was the last time I got 1,000? Here we go. 3i Atlas Perigee live stream. That was 3 months ago. I got 1.1k views. Apparently, if you believe that, and I don't. So there you go. Now, there's lots of other things I could talk about, which I won't go into detail because they need their own entire videos, and I've already mentioned them. Now, a lot of you are going to be probably yelling at me saying, Ben, what do you think about Obama talking about aliens? He was on that program, wasn't he, with Robert Tyler Cohen? I mean, I've never heard of this guy before. He's a YouTuber, apparently a very famous one, although I'd never heard of him. Robert Tyler Cohen. He's certainly very famous now, but he did this interview with President Barack Obama, and Obama said, he says, are aliens real? He says they're real, but well, they're not at Area 51, and unless there's a conspiracy to keep it from the President of the United States, which of course there probably was. I doubt if any of the presidents have told the whole truth about this. Presidents come and go. They're not going to let some guy who's only going to be there for a few years and probably is a bit of an idiot with self-serving interests to say, oh, by the way, Mr. President, this is all the stuff. This is the goodies on UFOs that we got. No, it's the military-industrial complex, mostly civilian contractors these days to outsourcing to avoid regulation. Oldest trick in the book. They're the people who know about it. And there's probably some officials, people in the civil service and senior military intelligence officers, they know about it. Bloody president doesn't. Okay. So, now if you want me to know more about that, I have actually covered it on Third Rail Radio. Here you go. It's the latest episode of Third Rail Radio. Let me just show it to you. It's this one. It's all on here. Program 234, Third Rail Radio. And it says here, Obama believes in aliens. There you go. Oh, and the other question, of course, I also cover is Lowe versus Farage. Now, I also cover it on that show. What do you think of Rupert Lowe and the Restore Party? And relationship and reform and Nigel Farage? What do you think about that, Ben? Well, again, it's a big subject. I've been debating this with a good friend of mine, actually. And he totally disagrees, but we've had a very, very good debate. Basically, I'm Team Rupert, man. I'm Team Rupert. Nigel can fuck off. I'm Team Rupert. That's the basics. But I mean, if you want me to do a longer video or a live stream about this, I will. There's lots and lots of commentary about the rise of Rupert Lowe and the fact that Nigel Farage as his mask is slipping sooner than we thought. Yeah, I think it's good actually, because this is the kind of thing that usually happens after an election, after the supposed rebel has betrayed his people and thrown them under the bus. It seems that Nigel is being he has been rumbled, and he has been exposed before any election. Hence the popularity of Rupert Lowe and his party. So that's good. That's good news. But again, that requires its entire it requires an entire live stream, doesn't it? So what else was there? Oh yeah, and also of course the other big thing, which I've covered on her Panmo Voice, is the arrest of a certain Mr. Mountbatten Windsor, who definitely did not kill himself in jail. I want that on record now. He didn't kill himself. And I've actually put that here on her Panmo Voice. If you want to know more about that, again, this requires a lot of detailed description. But there we go, Andrew nicked. It's this article here. You can go and read it. Again, this is something we need to maybe do more, maybe say more about another time. I don't have time right now because, believe it or not, I'm going to have a bit of a relaxing weekend. I've already arranged to go and visit a friend tomorrow on Saturday, and then Sunday I'll be going to work and then just doing the gas spanner. So I don't really have time to cover that in detail now. But basically, everyone's talking about Prince Andrew, or what's his name, the nonce formerly known as Prince, who's currently has been arrested. Now I didn't expect it. It was a complete surprise to me. And it was to many people. I hoped it might happen at some point in the next couple of months. It's happened now. What's going to happen to him, I don't know. I'm just kind of rubbing my hands in glee at the thought he's sitting in that cold little cell, sitting on his little bench with the scratchy blanket, using the toilet without the toilet paper, the big brick toilet they got there, with a little wall built around. It's the only privacy you get. And what's he eating? He's eating that tasteless beef curry in a box with a cardboard scoop. I bet when he tastes that food that they serve you when you're in a police cell, I bet you he's sitting there thinking, "Oh, I really do wish I had gone to a Pizza Hut in Woking now." I bet he is. It's not what he's used to, is it? But obviously, I can't go into too much details about this, but I hope to God, I really do hope to God that this is the beginning of the end for this horrible conspiracy, the worst conspiracy of all. I mean, you think the alien stuff is sinister, you think the moon landings, you think 9/11 is sinister. That's nothing compared to the biggest secret and the worst secret of all, which is what this system has been doing to our children. And I think the truth might shock even me. And when it comes out, you're going to see people weeping in the streets. Like I described this actually in my book, Roswell Redeemed: Humanity After Disclosure, which is, I don't have a copy. I've got the first one here. I don't actually have a copy to hand. It's in a box over there. I did sell one of them at the Essex UFO and Paranormal Group, plus 3 other books. But yeah, I described the scene where everyone's kind of like crying in the streets. But we have to face up to it. We have to. It's a monster. We have to stand up to. The quicker we get it over, we better get it over with. I think it's better to just get it over with, because we have to face up to this. But I just hope that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor really is the keystone that breaks open the dam. And that's why I made an ironic joke about it, because I'm concerned for his safety, not because I care about his slimy little ass, but because of all the other people he could take down with him. And so I do hope they're keeping a good eye on him. The people who don't want him to, have a little accident with a bed sheet kind of thing. He slipped on a bar of soap and the bed sheet somehow got around his neck. Yeah, like they did with Epstein. All right, so that's all I can say really about Andrew right now. Again, it's something we'll probably come back to when we have more details, but that's all breaking news, just like the Obama thing. All right. Now I should say a few more about the Disclosure Day trailer, because it is it's an extraordinary work. It's an extraordinary. I mean, it is designed with the kind of skill and professionalism you get in movies. It really is, in movies themselves. And the analysis that's been done on the two trailers is almost as detailed as what you normally get for films. And I mean, Spielberg knows how to market these things. I mean, you could just imagine if I'd been sitting in the Super Bowl at that point and I saw this new trailer, I'd have stood up and I'd gone, wow, I'd be more interested in that than in the game. Not that I'm an American football fan, as you know. But I'd have been like stunned. I mean, it makes sense because if you look at the details here about on the Disclosure Day Wikipedia, it says here, directed by Steven Spielberg, screenplay by David Cope, story by Steven Spielberg. But who's it produced by? Is it Christy Bokosco Krieger and Steven Spielberg? Steven Spielberg is not just the director, he's the co-producer. And so he's had a direct creative input in the marketing process for this film, and he knows how to do it. He knows how to get people curious. He knows what information to put in and what to leave out. He really, really does. Superb piece of work. Now, several people have said, well, the music, you know that John Williams is composing the score, but the background music in the trailer doesn't sound like him, because Williams is essentially an orchestral composer, and he creates orchestral pieces rather like classical music. Well, that's not what you hear. You hear a kind of electronic type music in this trailer. Well, I have a feeling that the music you're hearing in the trailer is actually not the score of the movie. And I have a feeling when the movie comes out, we'll see that it has a different score. The music's going to be very different. I don't think you'll hear that music. I think they've just put different music on the trailer. What Williams' original score sounds like, I don't know. We'll find out when we see the movie. Now, one thing I was curious about, a lot of people have mentioned this, is the upside down eye. It's here. Here we go. This is my written review of the first Disclosure Day trailer. Everyone says everyone's noticed this upside down eye here in the cardinal bird. And there's some people have been trying to interpret these lines that are all around there. But this is the amazing image that appeared on the billboard in Times Square, New York City. And that's, well, I'll tell you what I've actually managed to do. Let me just get the trailer up for you, because if you watch the new trailer, you'll see where it comes from. You will actually see where it actually comes from. I think it's in the big game. Is it in the big game spot? Yeah, it's in the new trailer, I think. We'll find it anyway. But it's of course you see this scene. I didn't really look at it very closely. I didn't actually look at it very closely. If this plan will open. But of course, if you look at the trailer, you see where that eye symbol comes from.
We're interrupting our coverage. There has been a threat to publicly release government material long shrouded in secrecy.
Where was it? This music, actually.
People.
It reminds me of the score of The Arrival. I remember Arrival. The one about that is the best alien invasion movie ever.
No.
Do you remember I did was it a watch party or some kind of thing for Arrival?
People have a right to know the truth.
What are you gonna do?
To the whole world.
If you do this, there's no undoing it.
There we are, look, there we are. Look. It's her eye. Look, what's happening to this woman?
If you do this, there's no undoing it.
See, there's some kind of experiment going on. We've already seen Colin Firth's character with these ECG transducers on their head. Now we see Josh O'Connor and Emily Blunt with the same things. There's some kind of experiment going on, or some kind of treatment. You should be able to see that. Yeah, you can. Good. And here we have, this is Eve Hewson. And look at her eyes. They're upside down. This is it. There we are. Upside down eye. That's the solution. I should have thought of that. Yeah.
There will be no other day like tomorrow.
I hope so. And of course, I've already discussed this. This is the first time you see the actual spacecraft or whatever it is coming through the clouds there. Yeah, how about that? Yeah. Now, Now I'm going to get another copyright notice, but who cares? Who gives a damn? Let's look at this interview with Steven Spielberg. The great man himself has actually been interviewed. It's like this is a combination of an interview and the trailer.
I've always been fascinated with.
Here we go. Now this wouldn't download. I had to OBS it, but which is a bit annoying. But here you go. You can still see it quite well. I don't know why it wouldn't download. It may be my computer, or it may be. I'll tell you what. I'll just expand it like that so you get a better view. But this is Spielberg here. That you see the trailer, and he has a little interview here. This is fair use. I mean, it's an open and shut case of fair use. But I will get a copyright.
I've always been fascinated with. I've always been fascinated.
Let's just go back to the beginning. Here we go. Because I think I might have looped it slightly because I got this. It's on a short.
I've always been fascinated with things that.
And you see Colin there with his electrodes. You see, it's the same 3 electrodes on the. And you know he has this like thing in his mouth, like a dentist thing, just to stop him biting the inside of his mouth, as if he's going through something stressful. Look what's in his hand there. It's one of those things you see in the other people's hands.
Cannot be explained.
What is it?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
So he said
So I'm
there.
gonna show you.
I've always been fascinated with things that cannot be explained.
What is it?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
So he'd always been fascinated by things that could not be explained. Yeah. Although, as I said, in 1997, he did an interview for the 20th anniversary DVD of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where he said he'd lost his interest in UFOs. He couldn't make that film today. He said a lot of other things as well, like how, because something that I thought was a bit strange, because it's so ungrounded and heady, you know, it's such a kind of like sort of trippy movie that you see Roy he gives Gillian a passionate lover's kiss, which I thought was a bit silly. I mean, I know his wife left him and everything, but I thought it's that's a little bit, again, it's kind of detached. It's kind of Glastonbury-like thing to do. And then he just walks onto the spaceship, leaving his kids behind. And Spielberg regretted that because, of course, when he made this, he didn't have any children. Then when he married Amy Irving, they had some kids, and he realized what it was like to be a father. So, yeah, but that's an aside. Let's watch the rest of this trailer. Or this trailer stroke interview with Spielberg. You see here the Whaley footage, which is like the Whaley footage here.
So I'm gonna show you.
And I've made a lot of movies about things that cannot be explained, from sharks to saucers.
That's true, yeah. Sharks can be explained, of course, yeah, but there was always this, there was actually always this rumor, or there's always this thought that Jaws, the shark in Jaws might actually be a megalodon. And there's this idea that megalodons might have survived to the present day. I don't know if there's any evidence for that. I know there's another movie that's come out called The Meg, in which there is a megalodon. Megalodon is a shark which is enormous, about 4 times the size of the biggest shark that's alive today.
You think there could be others?
When I was just a little kid, I remember developing a real curiosity about the sky at night and what's happening up there.
People have a right.
Yeah, and I mean, I've looked up in the sky and thought like that. Yeah, as you know, I do. And of course, when I go to Pentac, I'll be sky watching. So
To know the truth.
And also, not the possibility, but the guarantee that there is life off this planet.
People keep wondering. And
yeah, life off this planet, but they're down here as well. That's it. I think Spielberg really, if he's made this movie, he must realize that.
encountering the unknown.
People's questions about what is not only going on in our skies, but what is going on in our worlds, in our realities.
Yeah, not just what, it's not about lies. It's not just lights in the sky, it's lies on the ground. So people he's concerned about what's going on in our world. And he says in our world. So I think that may be a reference to the conspiracy, the cover-up, the truth embargo. That's how I interpret what he's saying here.
Has reached a critical mass.
They're coming! They're coming!
Just hear that bit
Of
again.
people's questions about what is not only going on in our skies, but what is going on in our worlds, in our realities, has reached a critical mass.
They're coming! They're coming!
Yeah, that's true. It's reached. I like the way he says that. It's reached a critical mass. That's not unlike Coleman Domingo. Where am I now? Here we go. That's not unlike that scene in the first trailer, the teaser trailer, where Coleman Domingo's character says people are starved for the truth, and that's true, isn't it? That's absolutely true.
of people's complete fascination with "Are we alone or are we not alone?"
Sorry, I'm see that sentence.
Has reached a critical mass.
They're coming! They're coming!
Of people's complete fascination with "Are we alone or are we not alone?"
They are starved for the truth.
Oh, yeah, and indeed he's inserted that very clip, that very little clip of Coleman Domingo, his character saying that.
And if someone knows we're not alone, why haven't we been told?
Yeah, good question. Good question.
Disclosure to the whole world, all at once.
Truth.
And if someone knows we're not alone, why haven't we been told?
Full disclosure to the whole world, all at once.
And then he finishes with the clicking language. Yeah. Now I don't know if this is significant or not. If so, then it kind of is. It's a kind of departure from a lot of Spielberg's usual casting policies. But this film has a mostly foreign cast. That is non-American, not foreign from my position, because well, three of them are British, like me. So, for example, you look at the cast list here. It's in a sort of like a order of you got the stars and you get the supporting team. So Emily Blunt, British actress. Josh O'Connor, British. Colin Firth, British, of course. And as you know, because you hear him speak, he doesn't appear to be putting on a fake accent like he's American, although Emily Blunt's character does. Indicating he's a British person. Eve Hewson is Irish. Now, Coleman Domingo, you have to go down to Coleman Domingo. He's fifth on the list. An American actor and playwright, prominent on the screen and the stage. The guy who says, there'll be no day like tomorrow, and people are starved for the truth. So he's the first American you see on the cast list. Now, I don't know if there's a reason for that, because certainly UFO disclosure is not a British trait right now. In fact, I have no interest I have no hope at all for my own country being the disclosure nation, especially with Keir Stalin in charge. So I don't know if that's a reason for that. I don't know. But the cast list is interesting, actually. There's some quite famous people in here, like Elizabeth Marvel, who plays the nun. You see her in the old nun. You see her in the first trailer, in the second. You see her in both trailers, I think. And indeed, she speaks in the first trailer. She's like a classic actress. She's quite old. So yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, you would expect big stars with Spielberg, and indeed, this is a very high budget movie. To buy advertising time in the Super Bowl halftime slot, it's the most expensive advertising advertising minutage you're ever going to get. I think it's like $1 million a minute or something like that. Yeah, so that's just something I thought I should mention. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I was walking down the street one day and I found like a big bag, opened it up, and there was loads of alien evidence, official government documents, what would I do? What would I do? Well, I would I put it on Hapanwo without a doubt. I mean, this is like so. I mean, this is. I feel sorry for like the actors and actresses. I really do in this, because I bet you anything that those people you see in the trailer, the actors, the thespians, Colin Firth, Emily Blunt, Josh O'Connor, Eve Hewson, Coleman Domingo, and a couple of the others that appear there. I bet you already they've been walking down the street just minding their own business, and someone comes, "It's you!" And someone comes up to them, they walk, "It's you! I know you! I know you!" And rather than saying, "Oh, can I have your autograph, or can we have a selfie?" which is what they're probably used to, this person says, "That movie, Disclosure Day, what's it all about? What's it all about? Tell me." And they'll be going, "I can't tell you, I'm afraid. Look, you've got to have to wait till you see it." And I bet you that's happened. If I see any of these people, I will leave them alone. I promise you. I won't bother them. If I see any of these thespians, I will leave them alone, definitely. But God, I can't wait to see it. Oh, gotta wait till bloody 12th. Was it the 6th of June? Oh, was it? Oh, the 12th of June. It's the 12th of June, isn't it? Oh, too long, man. Too long. Just 12 days after St. Theo's Day. Oh. Oh, but I'm going to be just for once. I'm going to be in the country during St. Theo's Day, because I think I mentioned before I'm not going to Contact in the Desert this year, which is a shame. But I can't make it this year. All right, Next year, 2027, oh, pardon me, is, of course, Roswell 70. And I've got to go for that. I've got to go for that. All right, and gosh, I need to go to Roswell itself, actually, at some point. Never done that. Written 3 books about the place, never visited it. When I go there, I'll put out a press release and send it to the Roswell Daily Record. The author of this book is in town. All right, guys, so what's next? There's a bit more about Disclosure Day. And there's a video here that I haven't actually watched. I'm just going through my notes here. There's a video here I haven't actually watched. And it's by Psychoactivo. Now, I really like Psychoactivo. He's really, really cool. He's this Mexican bloke called Pavel. And he does these really, really interesting stuff. And I'll show you it here, right? This is the video. I'm not even going to click on this, but it says here, Hollywood Insider reveals new details about Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day. And you can see there Colin Firth with his electrodes on. Now, the ECG sensors. Now, I don't actually want to watch that video. And the reason is, firstly, I don't want any spoilers. I don't want people to tell me in advance what it's all about. I want to know when I see it, because if you usually when you hear these sort of things, like these things that they tell you, oh well, it actually means this, it actually means that, it lessens the thrill of the experience when you actually do see it. Secondly, it may not even be a real insider with real information. It may be something fake. Which again, if I hear someone say something like, "Oh, yeah, what happens is that I know about this film because I'm a Hollywood insider, and what happens is that David Wilcock appears in it, and there's Corey Goode, and Corey Goode just materializes out of a portal, and there's some blue chickens coming with him, and I'll go there thinking, oh god, this is going to be a shit film." So that's why I'm not going to watch that video, I don't think. And if you watch it and you know what's in it, please don't tell me. All right. One more thing in this little list of loose ends that I want to tie up is the Crafty Nihilist sent me a news article. Now what's weird is I tried to open it and it wouldn't bloody open. It made my browser crash. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going to use Google to try and find the details. Here we are. Okay, so I'm not going to open the actual page, but it was the Wiltshire Times. The Wiltshire Times, I like all these sort of newspaper websites, it's infested with ads, and I think it may have just simply overwhelmed my browser. But I don't want to do that when I'm recording on StreamYard. But we'll just look at it here. Look, I just put here Data Center Wiltshire. And I'll just go to the AI overview, and it just says here, Wiltshire is a high security data center hub, particularly around Corsham, which is near where we're talking about here. And it talks about these various things here. And it says here, plans approved for, BBC should be safe enough. Plans approved for £250 million data center. And it says here, plans to build a new 250 high security data center. Where's my glasses? Hang on. Have been approved despite hundreds of objections. The decision on whether to allow the facility to be built at Arc Data Center Springrise campus in Corsham, Wiltshire, was delayed after campaigners raised concerns about flooding. Well, I'd be concerned about flooding the databases with information about me. And it goes on to, there's a bit more here. And here we go. This is the newspaper article. This is the news article I'm not going to open because the bastards, because it seemed to ruin my computer. But there's lots of things here. Now, I started thinking to myself, here's lots of images here. I started thinking to myself when Crafty sent me this, she also reposted a link to a video she made 5 years ago. And I won't play the whole thing, but I'll play some of it for you now. Because I watched it and I thought to myself, hang on a minute, I wrote an article about this, didn't I? And it turns out that I didn't. And it's really weird. It's almost like a Mandela effect thing. But I did actually cover it on one of my videos, but back then, but I didn't write an article about it. But here's a video, a strong language throughout. So just to let you know, Crafty Nihilist, Liz Crafty Nihilist, is the Liz the Crafty Nihilist, and she tends to do this sort of thing, bless her. So here we go. It says it's called the Philosopher's Moan. Philosopher's Moan. High strangeness at Rudloe Manor. D-Wave giant servers crash retrieval? ? As you know, I went to Rudloe Manor. I made a couple of videos about that. So here we go. They're literally in Liz's car, Liz and Mark's car here. So
just keep videoing. Get all the fucking police in. What's in there?
I'm not going to advertise it, are they?
Ladderroom.com.
Blade Room. Oh yes.
It's fucking spaceship in there. Because we are 2 seconds away from Rudloe Manor.
You see, look here. It's just very close to Rudloe Manor.
Look to the left of it. That's where all the
And this is the police car. Do you see the police car? There's a police escort for this thing.
MOD shit used to be. They pretend it's not there anymore, but it is. But look, spaceship in transit. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Fucking police, fucking.
Let's go back and see. Look. See, look at this huge thing on this lorry. The police may simply be there because it is a gigantic load. Data centers.
This is something to do with 5G, isn't it?
Well, I don't know about that. It's going into Rudloe Manor probably, so it's
Blade Room.
As well.
There is literally
another
half a minute down the road, Skynet Drive.
Yeah. How about that?
Fucking disappeared.
Well, you know, when I went to see Liz and Mark, we went and visited these places, if you remember. I can't remember the name of the video now, but we did.
She's disappeared.
Look at the size of those lorries.
What is it, Mark?
There's another one. Look, Blade Room.
Look at all these fucking police. Get the police in.
Well, yeah, they're there.
Right, so that's do check out the Crafty Nihilist channel, definitely. But what is Blade Room anyway? Because I did actually look. This is the thing I thought I'd wrote a book about and didn't. So wrote an article about and didn't. Blade Room. Oh, it's come up immediately. Look, Blade Room data centers. Oh, you can't see that. Here we go. It was immediately prompting me. It must know that I'm interested in this sort of thing. Blade Room data centers, efficient data centers built off-site. And this is their official site. This is their official website. Here you go. Blade Room data centers, the world's most efficient data centers. Is that the same place that I just showed you in the news article? Oh, right. Blade Room build data centers that deliver world-class performance, energy efficiency, and sustainability. Oh my God, I hate that word. Designed to meet diverse IT needs, from hyperscale facilities to modular edge solutions. What the hell does that mean? Blade Room combines cutting-edge technology, hence Blade, I suppose, with scalable, adaptable designs. Don't tell me it's safe and effective. Leveraging advanced cooling systems and a focus on environmental responsibility. Our data centers achieve industry-leading efficiency metrics while minimizing operational costs. Our approach to off-site community construction ensures rapid deployment and flexibility, blah-de-blah-de-blah. There we go. Data center infrastructure. Doesn't say much about like what they thought. Obviously, these are like Ministry of Defense contractors and things like that. Contact Blade Room. Oh, they've got an address in Cheltenham, not far from GCHQ, no doubt. Data centers here. Approach, design, constructions, cooling. DCIM, company, about. Blade Room is a global leader in designing the building's world's most efficient, sustainable, blah-de-blah-de-blah. Founded in 1945 by some strange guys with German accents, but were called John Smith. Yeah. Working with Blade Room. Here we go. It's got little gardens on it. How sweet, how nice. Operationally efficient. There you go, our business. All right, so the climate pledge. Oh dear, dearie me. There we are. Arc data centers, that's what we've been talking about here. Yeah, now the thing about it is though, those Blade Room data centers that were filmed by the Crafty Nihilists were filmed not now when it's only now that the data center there has been approved. What we're talking about here. But this was like 5 years ago. that this video was uploaded, but Crafty uploaded the video, but they uploaded the video. Isn't that strange? So clearly something was going on before the public consultation period and the decision to create the data center. Very odd, that, isn't it? Anyway, so I can't think of anything else. Let's go back to my notes. I think that is it. Yeah, that's tied up all the loose ends for now. There's plenty coming up. Got lots more to do. Lots of ideas in progress. But and of course, the recent news is going to inspire me to put photons onto celluloid. Definitely. Like I say, Prince Andrew, Obama, Rupert versus Nigel, that sort of thing. Seconds away, round one, that kind of thing. So I'll be covering that in the future. But as I say, I'm taking it easy this weekend. I've got a non-woo-woo trip to make, which is very unusual for me. Tomorrow. How often do you see me make a non-woo-woo trip? I am. And I'm doing the gas banner, which is my hospital portering program. Again, non-woo-woo. But next week I'll be back on the case. I promise you, I will get back. And we will delve deeper into some of these various issues that I've been covering. Okay, guys, stop the press. This is breaking news. It's literally just emerged while I was in the middle of making this video. Trump apparently is going to do disclosure, and that's what people are talking about. Now, I've had a look at it, and this is important when you hear these sensationalist headlines in the video titles, etc., to look at the actual facts behind them. But here, I can show you where it's announced here. Trump is still banned from Twitter, I believe. But here we go. And here we go. I put here, "Told you so." And here is the tweet, or the truth, by Donald J. Trump. "Based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files relating to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, and unidentified flying objects, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America." Right, and we have the Epoch Times that has just said something about this. Now, as I said, I've just literally heard about this while I was in the middle of making this video. It's interesting. I mean, but he's actually saying this. Now, this is the facts behind the issue. That's all we know so far. Now, as Kelly Chase has said, ufology's a bit like a thunderstorm. There's a flash of lightning and a huge rumble of thunder. The flash of lightning is the facts. The rumble of thunder is the noise everyone makes about the facts that come later. And so, obviously, I'll be looking into the noise and seeing what all the noises people are saying in terms of the noise. But right now, this is all we know. But those words are the words basically of saying, "I'm going to do disclosure." Now, this is something that was, funny enough, everyone was denying this was going to happen. Even after Obama did his little thing, and then Trump actually commented on Obama's interview with Robert Tyler Cohen, saying, "Well, that was all classified. He shouldn't have said that. I don't have an opinion about this." And it was something like, it was on Air Force One being interviewed. He gave classified information. Well, Obama didn't give any information, really, particularly. But that's what Trump said. I don't know. Did he actually watch the interview? I don't know. Or did he just watch some commentary on it? I think maybe he just watched some commentary on it. But obviously, like, if this is literally true, and he actually says here, identify, release government files. He doesn't say all. He just says government files related to alien, extraterrestrial life, etc. And then he says, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. That could be, well, what's been going on at Area 51? What about the back engineering, the crash retrievals, all this sort of thing, Roswell, etc. Or will this just be another kind of like, when these files suddenly turn up, it'll be just like the Arrow files and things like that? Well, would it just be another sort of like damp squib? Do you remember that? We're going to release the files, and you look at, and they release the files, and it's just like, it's 6 pages of crap half of it redacted. Is it going to be that? A lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's a distraction. It's a distraction from because Trump, Epstein files, distraction." Now, the distraction thing is the big backslapper line. Backslappers are always saying everything's a distraction. According to backslappers, everything is a distraction from everything else. Subject A is a distraction from subject B. Subject B is a distraction from subject C. And subject C is as a distraction from subject A. So you can go full circle on these distraction theories. The thing about this, there's problems with that. Firstly, the backslapper thing is, depending on which individual backslapper you talk to, you'll find that the distraction theory never applies to their favorite little hobby horse. Their own pet subject is not a distraction, but everything else is everything else in the world that we look at in terms of the conspirasphere and ufology. Everything else is a distraction from their little pet subject, but that's true. Their pet subject is true, and of course that varies depending on the backslapper. But the distraction thing is all part of this mystique of being a backslapper. It's the thing that makes you better than everyone else. And then another problem, of course, is that this is unlikely to be a distraction from the Epstein files, simply because, for a start, Trump's involvement with Epstein seems to be fairly innocent anyway. I know a lot of you will disagree with me on that, but so far he took 2 flights on Epstein's airline from Miami to New York. That's all we know. He sort of hung around with him for a while in the 80s. That's all we know so far. Nothing incriminating yet. So it'd be better if, for example, Trump is guilty, it'll be better just to keep quiet about it. That's another thing they're doing. And of course, if it's a distraction, these distraction techniques backfire very badly. They tend to backfire very badly, which is why I've always said I believe that it's very often these distraction theories are actually a double bluff. Good example being like Bob Lazar. I mean, if Bob Lazar is a distraction, there's this theory, the backslappers, I mean, not all of them will comment on this. I know Mark Pilkington refused to speak about this because he said, I don't talk about Bob Lazar in my book. But other backslappers will say things like, well, Bob Lazar was put out there to distract people's attention from Area 51. Well, how's that gone? How well has that worked? And the backslap will say, yes, but everyone goes to, all the people in the world are now looking at Area 51. It's a household name thanks to Bob Lazar, but they're all looking for aliens. But they're not seeing the secret the spy planes and things like that. And that is the reason. That's why they're doing it. Because they're hiding the spy planes, you see. It's actually secret aviation. But they're keeping the secret planes quiet and secret by making people look at the place where these secret planes are as much as possible. Come and look at where we've got these alien spacecraft, everyone. And of course, everyone will go there. And because they're looking for alien spacecraft, your secret is buried even deeper. But of course, because it's obvious how that could backfire, isn't it? Some people won't see the alien spacecraft. Why not just keep quiet about it? If Bob Lazar had kept his mouth shut, no one would have heard of Area 51, and that's how you keep a secret. This is what the backslappers don't realize. It's a double bluff. This backslapper cliche about aliens are a distraction from secret project, more down to earth projects. It in itself is a double bluff. That's what they want you to think. And backslappers hate it when you say that to them. If you want to piss off a backslapper, just call them naive and they will explode with rage. They can tolerate any insult except that one. Any insult at all. So again, like the other issues, this is now something on the back burner, which I'll deal with later. Let's just see what comes out in the wash for this. But I will cover it, I assure you, and I'll do a live stream or another video about it as soon as there's enough information about it and I have some free time to do so. So that's what I'll do. So thank you all of you for bearing with me during this little 9-day hiatus. Sorry that I have been so quiet for so long, but I want to appreciate all of you who did listen or watch the live stream last week, and there's going to be a lot more coming soon. So don't give up on the channel. And don't forget, if you don't see me here on Hapanwo TV for a while, I might be very active on Hapanwo Radio and Hapanwo Voice. So please do check those things out. Look at the articles I'm posting. Look at the audio shows that I've recorded and indeed broadcast. And you might find there's things going on there which you don't see on Hapanwo TV. In the meantime, thank you all of you for watching Hapanwo TV. Hospital Porters, pride and dignity. Stop the New World Order.